Always reminisce. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Connecting the ancient traditions of Sankofa, man, the past, present, and the future, man, because we got to know where we coming from in order to know where we're going, man. So Stolen from Africa. Y'all see you got like the super throwback exclusive, man. Like I don't even have that, man.
Oh shit, yeah, I had to dig it up. Dig it up out the back.
Yeah. Original, man. I remember like you wore that in Africa, man, when you're in Ghana.
I did. Oh man,
by the way.
I had to, man. Oh shit, yo,
that's classic, right?
Yeah, that was like honestly like I cried. It was like a top 3 moment of my life to be there and have your Stolen from Africa stuff.
Well, Castle. Man, one day I'm gonna touch down myself, man. But like you're probably like the first out of, I don't know, man. I've probably seen at least like 7 photos of people who have like gone to the slave castles wearing the Stolen from Africa shirt. So I think you were like the first one that really like set it off, man. So big up to you for that, man. That like you brought it back, man. You returned what was stolen. You feel me? So,
yo, man, it was.
I have to give you credit for that, man. That was blessed.
Yo, that loop, the power of that reconnection, that Sankofa returning to where we came. Oh my God! Like I could just feel it in my bones. I saw that they actually have the plaque right, but near this huge doors, and it says the door of no return. And you're
right.
Seeing that thing, man, being in the pits. There was I mean I don't talk about it much, man, but like I can't even return to those memories. They were like, yeah, so this is a pit where they would keep like 400 or 500 slaves for weeks or months at a time, and you're just in one little tiny space with one little tiny window at the top. That's it. And they're wow. You're like, wow, man, they don't even keep animals in places this bad, yo. Like it was crazy.
No, that's dope, and it really just connects back to like the resilience and like the strength, man, of like all this like pain to endure, and then again like generation after generation, and then to be able to come back, the privilege in that, and it's like, it's so mystical to me, and just to be able to like witness that and see that in different capacities is pretty phenomenal. So yeah, man, big up to everyone who's on the the year of the return, man. Like we're still returning. I see people like setting up shop, being out there representing, man. So I know sometime soon we're gonna touch down in Ghana, Nigeria, all that good stuff.
Yep. Shout out to Keisha.
Oh, Zakisha's been like, she basically is the return. You know what I mean? Like she got like the theme music that's ready for us to go back, man. We went to Ghana, now I'm acting up. You know what I mean? And down, looking beautiful, representing, man. So shout out to Zakisha, man, doing her thing.
And I want to shout out Ludacris, because Ludacris, Ludacris, I don't know if people know, but Ludacris officially went back and became a citizen of Gabon, and he got his Gabon passport, and he got passport memberships for all the members of his family. And he's like, Luda's like, and like to see an American, like a rich Black American, be like, yo, I'm buying property in Africa, I'm getting citizenship in Africa, and I ain't gonna have my whole legacy be defined by my Black Americanness or my Hollywood. Right. I'm like, Ludacris. No matter, like Luda isn't the deepest rapper, quote unquote, but I'm like, fuck all that, man. I have the highest respect for Ludacris for being like, yo, man. And like he proudly showed it. He's like, he just showed his citizenship. He's like, look at me, and I'm like, yeah, dude.
we need those kinds of examples. You know what I mean? Like the more we see that this is a reality, because you also have to remember, man, like we were taught to like not look at Africa at all. You know what I mean? Like everything, all the images that we see on TV were like, like the poverty, like war, like the non-desirables, the things that we don't even want to associate. So like now that we're seeing these beautiful representation, these images, I love the hashtag online that's the Africa that they don't show you. You know what I mean? Like you follow that hashtag, man, you're going to see all kinds of amazing things, like parts of Africa that look like Miami or LA. You know what I mean? Like skyscrapers and buildings and just like the things that we have out here. It's really incredible like the power of like perception and like the lies that we've been told. But we're slowly waking up and realizing that there's a lot more to it than what's being shown to us, man. So big up to people like Ludacris. I know like a Little John was out in Africa doing his thing too, and
yeah,
so many others that have been like slowly setting up shop and just kind of normalizing that experience, you know, to be like, hey, this is a place to visit, a place you need to connect with. I mean, not just for travel, but for our own like spirituality, you know?
Absolutely. So yo, man, what's good, man? How's your week?
I mean, you know, like, I mean, we pretty much just kind of started off like that. I mean, you know, it's Black History Month. So for me, there's like a lot of conversations that are happening, a lot of, you know, stuff in schools and whatnot. This week is kind of special. I'm going to be doing like a presentation at this spot called Humid House. And Humid House is like, it's kind of like a transitional home for young and expecting mothers, you know, who are basically teenagers, you know what I mean? So age like 13 to 21. And what makes this place like really significant, it was like a spot where like my mother spent time when she was pregnant with me when she was 19. You know what I mean? So there's like, you know, it's like I kind of already lived there when I was in my mother's room. Yeah, so coming back to like, you know, to bring some inspiration and some insight is pretty cool, and I'm just blessed for this opportunity to you know, spread the gospel in different spaces. So it's yeah, man, it's proper, and I just like to see how the messages are always well received, and how you know, people are just so shocked about like the kind of knowledge and things that have been like hidden from us, and why it's so important to be a critical thinker. You know, to really like, you know, question and examine like the things that the images that are being shown to us, you know, especially in today's age with technology, we can research all kinds of things at our fingertips. So it's just really cool to just kind of, you know, push that energy forward. And yeah, man. So we're looking forward to it, keeping the vibe going.
That's dope. Yeah,
man.
Bless up that, yo.
Yeah, man. How's things on your end, man? I know that you saw like some films. You got like a trailer that you want to share. Like what's
yeah, man. Yo, I actually I saw that movie. If people haven't heard of it, it just came out last Friday, February 12th. It's called Judas and the Black Messiah, and it's wonderful. It stars Daniel Kaluuya as Brother Fred Hampton, and it stars Daniel Kaluuya and the other brother. Man, I was mixed their names.
Check it out.
Yeah. But the thing is, I also, the wife of Brother Fred Hampton in the movie, her name is Dominic Fishback. And I went online this morning and read an interview about her because the movie was amazing. I saw it last night. And I got to big up the person who wrote this interview. It was from a Black publication. And I was like, yo, this is beautiful. Dominic Fishback is actually thinking about doing an Angela Davis solo movie because
that's what's up.
Well, one of the awesome questions was, one of the guys was like, yeah, you know, we have a lot of movies about Black heroes, you know, but you know, when do you think, you know, we'll have a Black woman revolutionary movie? I mean,
come on now.
I mean, I ain't gonna respect or rate Harriet. That there was a lot of problems with that movie, and that seemed to be the only one about a real Black woman. So she was like, yo, I want to do the Angela Davis story, and she had this amazing title. The title was they actually said that in the time of the 60s that cops would look at women in cars that had big afros, and they would pull over anybody that's a Black woman with an afro. And the cop would pull it over, and they would title it "On the Suspicion of Being Angela," and so the dope thing about Dominic Fishback is she goes, "Yo, that's what I want to call the movie, On the Suspicion of Being Angela," and it's like, wow, that's a sick movie title.
That's deep, man. I never knew that. And just to think that like the afro was, you know, synonymous with her, like, you know, that was like the symbol, you know, under the suspicion.
On the suspicion of being Angela. You're a Black woman with a big afro, you're probably a revolutionary. We're pulling you over.
Probably, yes. That's basically what they're saying. Yeah. So you don't have no perm in your hair. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, for real, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up that Judas and the Black Messiah trailer right here, and it was really dope. And Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. Oh my God, I can't believe his brain slipped my brain. It was Lakeith Stanfield, man.
Mm.
Like, he's been awesome, man. He was in Get Out and he was in Sorry to Bother You, but yes.
All right.
Lakeith
Yes.
Stanfield. Y'all. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Roll camera.
Deputy Chairman Freddie Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party. Repeat after me. Our hands are revolutionary. Our hands are revolutionary.
A revolutionary.
Mm.
You're looking at 18 months for the stolen car, 5 years for impersonating federal officers, or you can go home.
The Black Panthers are forming a rainbow coalition of oppressed brothers and sisters of every color.
Their aim is to sow hatred and inspire terror.
I will learn all that I can. These ain't no terrorists. You can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
That was her.
Mm. Jeez. Oh, theaters. All right. Yeah, man. I definitely gotta peep that, man.
Yo, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I quickly wanted to say I also listened to some of the songs on the soundtrack, which is pretty cool. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I'm a little old school. I listened to the song with Nas because it was called EPMD. It was a good song. And I listened to the Jay-Z song with Nipsey Hussle. That was a really dope song, actually.
Okay.
And then I listened to the Rakim song. Rakim did a song that was dedicated entirely to the life story of Fred Hampton. So that was a really dope song. But I quickly wanted to add No Name. Do you know No Name, the female rapper, the woman rapper?
Oh, I can't make the connection in my brain right now, man, but go ahead.
Anyway, I don't even know. She doesn't have too much out. She's
right.
Albums, but she had a little conflict with J. Cole last year when Breonna Taylor died. And
I remember that. Yeah.
So No Name apparently was invited to perform on the soundtrack, and she turned it down because she saw the movie. And I was just like, well, I was like, I didn't think the movie had anything where it was something not worth participating in. And so there's always going to be critical. Some people are like, oh, Hollywood doesn't depict or can't depict Black history or Black Panther truth in a and it's just like, oh, it's too capitalist. These people were socialists and they would never be. But I was like, I don't know. I really like the movie.
Well, I mean, in your opinion, because you got to see it, and obviously without giving too much away, you feel that there was a balance or a fair representation of the Black Panther Party that was depicted. Because based on some of the images I've seen, those are kind of the typical angles that we see, like the aggression, the violence, and based on what was happening at the times, it's rightfully so. But I'm always interested in showing the humanity piece. You know what I mean? Where mans are just smiling and cracking jokes, you know what I mean? As if they're always angry all the time.
Yo, that's the thing that the movie nailed amazingly. There were so many, when Fred comes home from jail, he's chilling in it and everybody swarms him. He's getting swarmed so much. He's like, stop hugging me so much. And there's a funny moment where there's 18 people hugging one, and it's all Black people hugging. He's got a beautiful moment sharing poetry with the actress I spoke to. She wrote a poem for the movie.
Okay.
Put it in there. So there was lots of moments of humanity and stuff. She was pregnant for a while and stuff. So absolutely, it wasn't a one-dimensional representation of Black people.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I like, you know, everywhere. Some people are like, oh, you know, Hollywood, they never do us right, and I'm like, generally, yeah, but like I thought they did a good job this time.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna put that on my list. I'm gonna check it out, and yeah, man, see what things I can discover through that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth watching. I mean, if people know the story, like the truth is, I'm not going to talk about it, but like,
yeah, you can't give away too much though.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it was inspired by true events and it follows history. So if you don't know the history, it is pretty stunning to see how it ended, because the Judas was, it's like, yo, what happened to the guy who infiltrated the Black Panthers for the FBI? Like, and then, the way they do it is very powerful and heartbreaking. And Lakeith Stanfield said he actually had to go to therapy after playing the role, because he felt so bad about playing an actor who ends up drugging Fred Hampton. He's like, yo, man, I played a hardcore sellout and it didn't feel good.
Wow.
Like he said, psychologically, it like really fucked with his brain. He's like, you don't.
Yeah, I could imagine, and you know that just shows like the degree and the commitment of his acting abilities, because as an actor, like you really do get into these headspaces. You know, it's not just you're reading some script, like you're actually embodying that person, like the mannerisms, like the mindset, everything. Like you're literally taking on the aura.
Oh yeah.
So I can totally hear that when you say, like, you know, actually needing to go through therapy afterwards. I mean, you know, so to me that says that he really like played like a really strong role in that, like very convincing.
Like. Oh, it's great. It's great. Oh my God, there's some powerful moments. There's like, all I'm gonna say is they almost discover him, and then like the moment where the Panthers are like, yo, is this guy a rat? That's a really powerful scene.
Okay. Okay, well, you know, I'm gonna take that in, because like a lot of times we don't hear like those flip sides to like the stories, you know what I mean, of how movements get infiltrated, and what kind of deals are being made, and how they do it, you know what I mean, the maneuvering and just like the finessing that comes along with it. You know, I think that perspective is really you know, important to highlight and see. So I'm gonna definitely check that out, man, and see what I'll go on with that. But I know, like, before I want to get into some like old school stuff, because I just discovered. Well, okay. Well, I guess we can get into it now, man. So we for some reason we talk about Socrates a lot. I feel like he's like a when it comes to like Reminisce Show, and because I think for me, like, you know, especially the Underground tapes, you know, that's like the golden album. I mean, it's just a classic. It was so advanced for its time. Like the features that he had on it, like we mentioned before, like Exhibit, Common,
Skelter, OC, like what?
OC, Master Ace, like,
yo, at that time, it's like, yo,
Barrel Launch, like this is like you know, like collaborations and artists that were at their peak at that time. So for a Canadian artist to have these like an abundance of American features, it's like, what is going on? So anyway, so if you go on Spotify, man, he has two versions of the Underground tapes album. There's one that's just the regular, and then there's another one that has a commentary. So for each track, there's like commentary that given some of the back end stories, and him, you know, recording with Gadget, as we mentioned before. Like Gadget does like a lot of Drake's masterings and whatnot. So this is like early days and whatnot. I heard in one of the commentaries, Socrates was I believe that like Father Time was like recorded while he was still in high school, like grade 12 at Agincourt Collegiate. Like that's just crazy, you know what I mean? And it's crazy to me because like I frequent Agincourt Collegiate. I've done a lot of like, you know, workshops and presentations at that school, like, you know, really cool, the principals in the schools there. So it's just kind of cool to be like, oh, you went there too? That's crazy, you know?
That's
so
amazing.
But yeah, like what I wanted to play was this snippet, and again, I encourage everyone to go onto you know, Spotify, check out the Underground tapes for Socrates if you want to hear some of the back end story, because he goes off on like every track. There's like a commentary, but I'm gonna play the one for the song "Keep It Moving," which is featuring Exhibit. You know, Exhibit. You know, part of the legendary Alcoholics Liquid crew out in the West Coast, you know, work with Dr. Dre and, you know, and a whole bunch of other cats. And, you know, he definitely made his mark. Some people know him for like on the Pimp My Ride show. I never really got into that though, but yeah, he's doing this thing. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna play this commentary and him just talking about how like the song in LA came about. So let me just play this.
Please do. That's dope.
All right, let's take this in.
Staying with Mike Karen out in LA on Sunset. He had a whole apartment on Sunset, right across the street from the House of Blues by the Pink Dot, right there. And I went to see my homie Cougar, who was down with Little X and was helping edit a lot of X's videos at the time when he was out in LA. Took me to see a Big Pun show at the House of Blues.
Amazing.
And at the time, Big Pun was on loud. May he rest in peace. And after the show, I'm outside and I'm just kind of not really mingling. I was a quiet guy, shy guy, still am. But I see the tour bus parked out front and a bunch of loud artists, not loud, but on the label loud, Rifkin kids. We're hanging out, and I see Exhibit and E Swift chilling, and I guess I kind of gained up the guts or the courage to just approach them and say, hey, I really like the show because Exhibit was a surprise guest, and just let them know, hey, great show. My name is Socrates, and they both did a double take. And that in turn pushed me to do like a quadruple take because I didn't think that my music's influence had stretched that far. And the first thing he said was, Father Time, Socrates? And I said the one and only. And we've been friends ever since. We're talking, almost 20 years now. And actually almost signed me to his label deal at the time.
Holy.
But we ended up getting the opportunity to record at Mike Karen's home studio. And he popped in and I had this beat rocking and had a couple verses going and he killed it, literally killed it. I was out there for another 20, 30 days and, he took me around to hang with all of them. I became an official member of the Liquid crew. They'll call me Baby Guts. You can figure that out on your own.
Baby Guts.
But it was fun. Keep it moving.
That is fabulous. Oh my God.
Yo, when Exhibit jumped on that intro, that song and said from Los Angeles to Toronto, like growing up, man, because I was in high school when this album was released, and just hearing Toronto on a record was just like incredible. It was like,
every time
you made it.
You made it, no doubt. Every single time these guys said any reference to Toronto, like, oh God, they know we exist.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought this was dope, man. I just discovered this the other day, and I think it would be kind of cool if like artists were to do that, like for their 20th anniversary or whatever the hell, like, to add like some commentary within it, because like people like us like enjoy those back end stories.
Oh, that shit is so golden, man. And I mean, I never saw Big Pun perform, so it was weird. I saw Socrates speak at the Toronto Library once, and he said something really interesting where he's on that record. He's got Helter Skelter on that. So then I asked him, I was like, yo, did you ever meet Sean P? And Socrates was like, you know what? I actually never met Sean Price. That was a record that we made where we were sending it back and forth to each other. And he's like, unfortunately, I never got to meet him in person. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Because I was like, I've never got to make a record with Sean P, but I got to meet Sean P and see him perform a couple times. And I even got to sell weed to Sean P once. So like, I love that story. I'll tell that story forever. So it's just like hearing all those pieces. I'm like, yo, man, like Socrates got to see Big Pun. I never got to see Big Pun. I'm so happy he did. And those are amazing.
Yeah.
So
that's dope, man. But speaking of like, fallen artists, I know that you mentioned that there is a trailer coming out, man, for the late Biggie Smalls, man, Notorious B.I.G. I know we talk about him a lot, man, especially for that legendary concert, man, that happened in Toronto, man, like crazy. But what I like about this, what you mentioned, because I know there's a lot of different stories and stuff like that speak to Biggie, but this one you said is backed by his moms, like his moms is really supporting this project, and I always appreciate when the mothers of these slain artists are part of it, because it says that there's some level of integrity and authenticity, and proper representation that goes into it. So I always like that, man. So that makes me feel good inside.
Yo, it's real, and it's called I Got a Story to Tell. It's coming out March 1st, I think, and here we go. It's just a brand new Biggie documentary, and thankfully, it looks like it's going to get into his life before he got onto Bad Boy, to a degree. Not totally. Obviously, there's going to be some of his success story, but it's young early Biggie Smalls footage. So here we go.
Let's see what's up.
That's all it was. All it was a dream.
Something special is about to happen. My boy get 3 years, he get nervous.
Yeah, I can't be, looking like, 21. Gotta keep that 18.
You know what I mean?
Wow. So young.
My son was a very smart kid.
He was already writing since elementary.
I was initially trying to groom Chris to be a jazz artist because he was so talented.
Every summer, Chris would come back from Jamaica. He would be a sponge to just so much more that was outside of our scope. He was like, I gotta get us off the streets.
I'm just trying to rip the hardest rhymes. A lot of the bad decisions came from wanting to provide.
He told me he was working. I believe it.
You want to do this? I need you to commit to this.
Country doing.
No, you can't do both.
He disrespected my house. That wasn't my son.
You understand me having to sell drugs on the corner to this?
He's the hottest thing smoking right now.
Well, you got conclusions
All the time. Where we at, y'all?
We in Detroit.
Biggie blew up overnight. You have no origins for what rap planet this guy came from.
Spread love is the Brooklyn way, son. Yeah, y'all.
I was happy that he was making something with his life.
They got a gifted talent that saved a lot of people's lives, but his.
Just gonna do our thing forever and ever. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yo.
Right?
Whoo.
That looks
it's gonna be emotional, yo. Like, yo, this kind of reminds me of the conversation we had with Kamal. I'm not sure if this was like part of the live or if it was offline, about just like, seeing more into like an artist, like more into like their lives and just, getting that like really like that authentic like connection. And it just kind of reminded me right now, just watching that footage, of like the debate of like, Tupac versus Biggie or whatever. And I feel like one of the reasons why I gravitate more towards Pac is because I knew more of his story. You know what I mean? Like so much of his life was just out there from young all the way up. Like there's so much like content out there, but Big, not so much. You know what I mean? Like he was just getting started, like to really share his story and to get it out there. So I didn't really get enough time to like have that emotional bond or that connection or whatever. But just seeing that footage, just kind of like, I'm just like, okay, man, that's what's up, man. Like the of him going to Jamaica, like that's important for someone like me. Like to see that's important.
Me too. You're so right. And hearing that, it's like, yo, Biggie went to Jamaica every summer. All right. Like, when he would do little things like what the blood clot and say like that, the little things like that.
Exactly.
Like, right, like we knew that he had a little Jamaican connection, but I didn't like how deep did it run?
Yeah. Yo,
you're so right.
I was just thinking to myself, like, I hope that they show like Toronto. I hope Toronto was in that documentary, because I feel like that was like a moment for his, because like the Toronto concert was it just before the album dropped or like just after? But it was somewhere in that, like it was fresh, you know what I mean? So it would be kind of cool if they got some exclusive footage that we ain't seen yet that's going to add on to that, man. So I think that'll be kind of cool to highlight.
That would be dope, man. That would be dope as fuck, man. I hope it's in there, yo. Like, shit. Like, we'll see. Well, like, yeah, I guess it's like 2 weeks away. So
March 1st, man. It's an interesting dates, you know. That's, you know, good like 8 days before like his passing. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Really interesting timing though. But I guess really to, you know, maybe offer some healing or some celebration rather. You know, instead of this being some like a tragic time. So, you know, we all need some healing, man. And that's what it is.
All the time, yo. We definitely do need the healing. And yo, shout out Colleen and all the people watching, all our folks out there. Thank you for checking out the Reminisce Show.
What you got that flyer bag, man? I don't know. We might have to like recruit Kamal, man, because he has that like super extensive collection.
Wow, Kamal's got so much gold, man. I gotta dig in my super archives, man. This is just the stuff that I got right here, but I got oh shit, here's a good one. I got my bag over in my storage, so I got some more.
You might have to pull that out, man. Get some super exclusives.
Pretty sure I have to,
because I don't know. I can't front that. After when like Kamal showed his, man. I mean, like that's a game changer, yo. Like he just took it to a whole nother level, man. I just got to sit back and be like, all right.
yeah, exactly. Oh damn, this dude's bodying me right now, man. He's dummying me with the Reminisce
and stuff like in mint condition too, like
mint condition. Like I definitely. You know, he doesn't drink or smoke, so he doesn't have the flyers ripped off with filter paper had just gone. So, yeah, man, like that's, I mean, I usually grab more than one flyer, but sometimes I only have one. And it's like, I got the flyer, but there's a piece missing because I had to smoke something. But speaking of smoking and flyers, there's this party, Hi and Hello.
Okay.
Featuring some awesome
kids, Smash Brothers. Oh, Big Norm. Okay, from the moment you say those names, I already know what it is, man. Like,
yeah. And DJ
Fire, man. I've heard that in a minute, man. DJ Nana, yo. Shout out DJ Nana, yo.
Shout out DJ Nana.
About Alto Basso, man, on Monday nights.
Alto Basso, yes.
Like you wanted like a nice hip hop vibe jam, like on a Monday night. That was the spot to go to, man. Crazy.
Where was that again? Was
that beside the Mod Club, yo? Like it was like College and whatever that street is.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was that club changed names so many times.
Yeah.
Alto Basso, that's right. That's right across from the like the Metro and the
like Revival. That whole area actually was a nice vibe, you know, because sometimes you would have like events happening at all three venues at the same time, so it's just like a lot of like movement and people hanging around and
exactly. Oh, one last quick thing I do want to shout out. So I did see last week Cardinal Official did an online that was pretty dope, and it's still up right now. You could probably just type in Cardinal 20th anniversary of Firestarter Quest for Fire album. So he did a talk for an hour online, and Cardi was being asked questions by Del Cowie, and DJ Agile was playing music.
Agile, that's what's up.
So it was really dope, and Cardinal was asking questions about doing that awesome album. Julie Black had she came in and she sung a piece. He answered questions about Tara Chase. He talked about the story how he met. He said that he was on Hot 97 in New York, and he was on the radio, and he tore it down there. And that's where I think he said that's where Bacardi Slang got played for the first time.
Wow!
And while it was in New York on Hot 97, he was getting his shine that night. He said when he got off the radio and left the station, that's when he got a call from Busta Rhymes, and Busta Rhymes was like, "Yo, no, I've been trying to link up with you," and So that's how
That's
it was Busta
great.
Rhymes. And then from Busta, that's how it was Pharrell. And so it was really dope for Cardinal to tell those stories. And he bigged me up, so I got to big him up. And yo, Cardi's just teed up.
Yo, shout out Cardi, man. Like, you know, as I mentioned before, it would be kind of dope to get him, you know, on the Reminisce Show at some point. Because Cardinal used to live across the street from me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would see him all the time. Like, and it was always a trip. You know what I mean? This is like when I was in my early 20s or whatever. And it was always be a trip because I would see him on Much Music, do some kind of live, like on The Mix or whatever. And then he's just like chilling out across the street with all his artist friends and whatnot. And like, you know what I mean? It was just a vibe, you know what I mean? So shout out Cardi, man, for doing this thing. And, you know, man from the ends, man, Vaughn and Oakwood vibes, you know what I mean? So shout out the man them, you know, and it's just really cool to see the progression, man. But these are the OGs, man. We're gonna get some people, you know, that were part of the circle featured on here, man. We got like a special guest that be coming up in the next couple weeks or so, man. Why Look, who actually did a song with Cardinal, which I'm gonna get to speak on, you know what I mean, and some other things. I know he's doing amazing stuff right now, though. But yeah, man, you know, we got to pay homage to our founding fathers, man, and founding mothers. You know what I mean, the people who've come through and paved the way for us to be doing what we're doing today. You know what I mean, and that's the whole traditions of Sankofa, man. We got to connect the dots. You know what I mean, so we don't forget. Lest we forget.
Yo, these are important things. These are our foundations. This is what we come from. And you don't know where you came from, you're going to get lost to where you're going. So
that's right, man.
I don't know. So thank you. It's always good to reminisce with you, brother.
Always, man. And we be here next week, man. Same time, same channel, man, as we reminisce.
All right, everyone. Have a beautiful week. And happy Black History Month.